Hey everyone, Reggie Williams here from the Massachusetts Budget and Policy Center to discuss how the federal government can help us here in the Commonwealth at this difficult time with our Kids Count Director, Nany Wagman. Nancy.
Hi.
So can you, because we know that we can expect state tax collections to drop, can you tell us a little bit about what the federal government can do to help the state balance its budget?
That's really a great question, Reggie, because as we know, we are in a public health crisis, which has turned into an economic crisis and is now becoming a pending state fiscal crisis. And this does, if nothing else, this emphasizes the important partnership between federal and state governments. There has been some fiscal relief for the state from the federal government so far, but we will need more. For example, the Families First Act passed by Congress includes a 6.2 percentage point increase in what is known as the Federal Medicaid Assistance Percentage, or FMAP. This should bring in about $1.1 billion in additional federal reimbursement for the Medicaid program and about 46 million more for the CHIP program, the Children's Health Insurance Program, which is actually part of our MassHealth program here in Massachusetts. Now, an FMAP increase like this is actually a very efficient way for the federal government to provide state fiscal relief. And the increased reimbursement is helpful, but it's nowhere near enough. And Massachusetts has very wisely extended its emergency Medicaid program to ensure that anyone, regardless of immigration status, can get access to COVID-19 testing and treatment. So we can see how MassHealth is absolutely critical during a pandemic. But think about this, during a recession, people lose their jobs, lose health insurance provided by their jobs, and may then in turn to MassHealth for health insurance coverage. So MassHealth also plays a critical role during an economic downturn. And unfortunately, not only is the Families First federal FMAP bump too small, the increase is only available to the state during the public health emergency, rather than continuing through however long the economic downturn lasts.
Got it. And is that the only federal legislation that's providing support at this time?
No, already there is another piece of legislation called the Federal CARES Act, and that also provides some direct federal fiscal relief to Massachusetts. We expect it to bring in about $2.67 billion from what is known as the Coronavirus Relief Fund. And a portion of this funding could go directly to larger cities such as Boston or to counties. The CARES Act also includes about $500 million for Massachusetts in what is known as the Education Stabilization Fund. And this funding includes dollars for K-12 schools that in fact are targeted to districts that have larger numbers of low-income students. And there's also funding for higher education to colleges and universities, in part based on the number of students who receive Pell Grants.
Okay. And is there anything else in the CARES Act that folks should know about?
Yeah, there is also other funding in the CARES Act, such as funding for community development, block grants, funding for childcare, for public transit, for emergency shelter programs. But these are smaller amounts of money that will come to Massachusetts. And for the most part, these are not funds that flow through our state budget.
Nancy, that update was super helpful. Thank you. And to our viewers, we'll be coming out with a more detailed look at the federal funding in the near future. Sign up for updates on massbudget.org. And then you can also follow us on Facebook and Twitter at MassBudget and on Medium at MassBudget as well for more information. Thank you.
Thank you.